So now it's my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Edward Murray. He is a U.S. Army Specialist 5 veteran and retired medical professional whose career reflects a lifetime of service. He served 2 tours in the Army as a combat medic and later as a physician assistant. He was stationed at Fort Sam Houston, Germany, and other key locations from 1964 to 1971, and again in 1976 to 1979. After his military service, Mr. Murray became a cardiopulmonary perfusionist, working with top cardiac surgeons in Milwaukee and Madison. He also served as a clinical instructor at UW Hospital and contributed to the research on prostate cancer in Black men. He was a founding member of the 100 Black Men of Madison and currently chairs its Health and Wellness Committee. Mr. Murray also served on the Dane County Human Service Board and the Wisconsin Historical Society Board. He has been a Fitchburg resident since 1992, and we are honored to welcome him as our 2025 Memorial Day speaker. The theme of his reflection today is the hands that touched our heroes. Please join me in welcoming him.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor, and our elected officials and veterans, family, and members who wish to celebrate this day with us. I'd like to start with reflecting a little bit about history, the history of Wisconsin and the men and women who have served this country, especially our state. We have some great people, and one of the things is that most people don't realize how Memorial Day got started. And the history of it really goes back to the early 1800s. So this was a day, it was called Decoration Day, I think, in the beginning. And this was a day in which they would take wreaths and flowers and flags and post them on the fallen soldiers' graves. But it became official in 1967. I think the federal government decided to call it Memorial Day at that time. Having said that, a little bit of history about the Civil War. That's really when it really started. At the beginning of the Civil War, there were a lot of slaves that wanted to be a part of the military but couldn't. We had 882 Wisconsin people of color volunteered. They were part of a group that was nationally known. Eventually they served at Vicksburg. And it was an interesting thing that you can understand by the struggles that they had, but they were very determined to serve their country. This is one of the things about Wisconsinites. I have personal experience with veterans. I served when I first got out in Milwaukee at Woods Veterans Hospital. That was what it was called then. Now it's Sablocki. And I was a nurse on one of the orthopedic floors. Then I became a perfusionist. But after that, then I went into private practice. But the best part of my life was serving veterans here at the VA hospital, William S. Middleton Memorial Veterans Hospital. I served there from 1992 until 2009. I saw a lot of veterans that I saw that were very honorable, that served this country, served with honor and dignity. One of the fellows that I encountered was Zach Cooper. Some people don't understand or know about Zach Cooper because he was just an ordinary guy. But Dr. Zach Cooper actually was a historian. And he took upon himself to look at the rural parts of Wisconsin and where rural Wisconsin was and how it developed. There are so many places like outside of Oregon, around Middleton, where a lot of the people that were settlers actually came to settle from Wisconsin, because the North was a place for individuals to come. And this was a great state. Zach, he wrote a book that's in the Wisconsin Historical Society, and it's called Black Settlers in Wisconsin. You can Google this, it's in the Wisconsin Historical Society. He was one of the first fellows that was a highly educated individual. He was an educator. He was a teacher of young people. He loved to teach. The second person that I really want to talk about, the reason why I'm talking about Zach was a veteran, of course, and he died of cancer, and he was a patient at the VA hospital. This is when I really got to know Zach. I knew Zach in the city from before, but we really got to know him because he started telling me a lot of his stories, especially about the war and when he was in. The second person I really want to talk about is Sergeant Arki Toki. Mr. Toki, Sergeant Toki, was such a wonderful man who gave service to the VA hospital. He was in his 90s and still coming to the VA hospital to serve the veterans at that hospital. We have a wall at the VA hospital called the Wall of Honor, and his plaque is there. If you ever go, you will see Mr. Toki's picture there. He was in the Korean War, in World War II. Mr. Toki was a sergeant that served in the battles in Italy, France, and was awarded the Purple Heart and Bronze Medal. Mr. Toki died, I think, at the age of 96, I'm not sure. But anyway, we named the school after him, Toki Middle School. So if you ever go by Whitney Way, and you will see that little Toki school, that school was named after him. He was such an important figure in Wisconsin, but yet no one knew of him. The last person I want to talk about is a classmate of mine, Brigadier General Robert Crowcroft. He was a great football player for North Vision High School, where I graduated. Of course, I was a year ahead of him, but Robert was such a strong individual who believed in serving his country. Robert was such a man that he had spent 40 years in the service. After his retirement, he took on finding homes and making places for homeless veterans. This man was such an outstanding fellow to look up to be a part of the country in which we were raised in. Wisconsin has always been such a great place to live. It's been a place where families can grow only because of the shoulders of which I stand on, of the falling soldiers and women before me. I would not be here to talk to you to this day. It was such a great honor to be a part of this program, to share with you some of the things of our veterans here in Wisconsin. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed, for your powerful words. So now I invite member of the Lieutenant Marion C. Cranfield VFW Post 1318 of Fitchburg to lay the commemorative wreath in honor of all who served and sacrificed. Thank you. And now we continue with the military honor ceremony presented by the Oregon Brooklyn VFW Post 10272, Brooklyn, Oregon American Legion Post 160.